Hey, welcome Wednesday to you all. Welcome to Living the Run, minutes after 6 bells. I'm Rex Stevens in studio with Melissa Gergel. No Olympian again.
I don't know.
It's becoming kind of a routine for the Olympian. Hey, if you haven't joined us before, this is the first time. Make it a second time next week. We're here every week, 6 to 7 p.m. on ESPN 1280, The Ticket. You can follow us along online, too, if you're at home on either get on to ESPN 1280, the website there, and follow us, or get onto iTunes. You can follow us along there as well. You miss any of the interviews, great interviews always on this show, different athletes, different doctors, people pushing the limits, helping us understand how to better live the run ourselves and our health. Tonight, phenomenal athlete, one of the best athletes arguably on the Central Coast, Matt Russell, top 20 finisher at the Kona Ironman. The guy's already set 4 weeks later to race again this weekend in Arizona. We got a phone interview with Matt. When you start talking top 20 world championships, third best of Americans in that race, this guy can fly. Going to be a fun interview with this guy.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I can't even imagine doing an Ironman and then doing another one within weeks.
Yeah, no question. It's something we want to talk to him a little bit about, and we've talked about on this show before, is to talk about recovery. And each person recovers a little bit different. And, I go back to Dr. Brandon Brock, one of our favorite interviews on this show, and one of the first times he came on the show from Dallas, Texas, he said, we need to do a better job of practicing the art of individualized treatment. And, so many times we try to fit ourselves into a textbook, and it just simply doesn't work on so many occasions. And I think a lot of people would look at Matt, and one of the things we're going to find from Matt is that, he does more Ironmans than just about anybody in the world competing in full Ironmans. I think he said he's going to do 7 this year. He did 9 last year. A lot of the top guys are only doing 2 or 3. It's obviously working for him. He's a top 20 guy, and he's going to talk about why he does so many and what he found in his body. But he individualized his treatment. He individualized his race schedule and didn't just go with the quote, hey, what's an Ironman athlete supposed to do? Talk about that a little bit, Melissa. You see that all the time, probably in the pole vault world and the track and field world, being able to individualize your workouts to you and what you're feeling versus, hey, this is what the whole track team does.
Yeah, definitely. I think that as you grow as an athlete through your years of participating in your sport, you kind of get a good feeling as to what works for you, and maybe that just works for him. During the competition season, sometimes you're competing multiple times a week at the peak of outdoor season, and you are almost competing to stay in shape, if that makes sense. So maybe it's a similar type thing, but I have no idea.
Yeah, it makes me think a little bit. I had this patient come in this week who has loved running, and loves to run and wants to run. About a year ago, she was running into some issues with a hip, with a knee, little foot stuff, definitely some asymmetrical patterns. She just wasn't level. Biomechanically, she just wasn't being efficient. And so we started teaching her some things. She started getting some adjustments, but also teaching her some things on how to get rid of some of the myofascial restrictions, how to stay balanced, and so forth. And she's been doing a lot better, and she's been doing so much better that she went to come in for her appointment this week. Her fiance kind of suggested to her, you don't need to go. You're doing great. It's just a luxury. And I kind of thought, this isn't, a latte. This isn't a diamond ring. Your health is not a luxury, per se. It's something you need to work on a daily basis. And once you get it there and once you fine tune it, you want to keep it fine-tuned, not wait till you have knee pain again, hip pain, etc. So now doing things like chiropractic, doing myofascial release at home or in offices helps your nervous system start to detect sensory issues, and you start to be able to decide, hey, look, I'm positionally not in a good place. My running gait is off. I can tell I don't have spring in my step. I can tell that I'm less flexible today. Whatever it might be. Not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's a necessity for life. I mean, it's a nutrient, if you will. Mobility is a nutrient. I don't know how it got into luxury world. This is a nutrient for better health. It's clearly not a luxury. And if you do these things regularly, like Matt does, like you do, like I do, you start to really be able to pick up things before they become chronic issues, and you can you prevent a lot of stuff from
Absolutely,
being an issue.
Definitely. I think from an athletic standpoint, that's true, but also just general health standpoint. I can't stress enough the importance of prevention, whether it's preventing injury from athletics or preventing heart disease. It's so important to take the preventative measures, and then you aren't paying for it later.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Again, Matt Russell, he'll fill us in. Incredible Ironman triathlete, one of the best in this area. Local guy, guys. You're not going to want to miss this interview in about 10 minutes. Top 20 at Kona. You know, you hit on something here that just flat out kills me. I read an article just the other day that the cardiovascular group and the AMA, if you will, is kind of coming out and saying, hey, we're going to take a slightly different approach to heart disease. These cholesterol medications, often you hear them termed statins out there, your Lipitors, your Crestors, these types of things. And now it's going to be, hey, we're not going to really even look at the number so much per se, but we just kind of need everybody to get on these. It's just, we've got these categories of who really needs to be on them, and pretty much they just, if you're alive and breathing, they want you on these things. And it's so devastating to my mind. I mean, when you look at heart disease, you have to be blunt. You have to be honest. It isn't changing. Heart disease is terrible. And if anything, it's worse than it ever was, particularly with females. Heart disease is bad. The philosophy has been horrendous. And the philosophy has been more meds, more blood pressure meds, more cholesterol meds. It's not working. Yet the solution is now, hey, not to worry. We just need more people on statins. It's just kind of stunning. And I don't know if it's because we've just lost faith in the American people that they just won't make the lifestyle changes and adopt the lifestyle changes necessary to be able to appropriate their blood sugar, to be able to lose weight, to be able to increase muscle to fat ratio, to be able to oxygenate their tissues better. It's just absolutely bizarre. And the thing that kills me most, living the run, we're trying to get people to move a good 5% at least, minimum 5%, maybe 10%, including a couple of people I saw today, get massive muscle pain, especially with exercise, when they're taking these meds. So now you're trying to prevent heart disease. One of the best ways we know is exercise, and now these people can't exercise because their muscles hurt too bad. It's got to be a better solution.
Yeah, I hadn't actually heard that, but coming from a cardiac rehab background, that's pretty disturbing. I mean, one of the first things that you learn when you're studying heart disease in school is that, or the what is the word I'm looking for? The list of
risk factors.
Risk factors.
Yes,
the list of risk factors, and even my mom is guilty of this, and she is a healthcare professional. She is on cholesterol medication, and she says my cholesterol's great, so that's not a risk factor. Well, if you're on cholesterol medication, that's a risk factor for heart disease. That counts as one. It
counts. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, we take meds and somehow, oh look, I'm healthy, no risks here.
Yeah.
You're taking these meds that are toxic to your liver, toxic to your muscles. And again, you look around the world, nobody else is using this strategy.
I mean, I don't even really know what to think about it. Working with patients that have heart disease, you kind of do lose a little bit of faith. There are your few patients that are very into making changes, and they recognize that this huge event has happened to them. They've had a heart attack, they've had some sort of intervention, and they are ready to make changes. And then you have the majority of other people who think, well, they put in a stent and now it's fixed and I have another 50 years to mess it up again. But it's not the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only positive, right, is we got jobs for caregivers now, right? I mean, we got more zombies in rest homes, essentially. I mean, and my grandmother was one of them, just in a rest home, basically useless for a bunch of years. And yeah, it gave caregivers jobs, but she was totally dysfunctional, taking close to between 15 and 20 medications. She's a zombie. And you start to wonder, I mean, is this where we want to go with healthcare, if that's the result we're going to get out of taking tons and tons of medications? And again, none of the rest of the world is doing this, and we're not seeing the heart disease, the cancer, the diabetes, and all of these other things, the obesity, at the rates we see in America. Absolutely stunning. I thought just a kind of a stunning article. I guess I shouldn't be stunned, you know. What do we got? We got 5 million people now without health care. 50,000 people have signed up. That's not. I don't think that's the ratio that we were shooting for. Oh boy, what a rant! Could go on and on and on this.
Yep.
Hey guys, check us out on livingtherun.com, Facebook/Living the Run, and you know we're gonna tell it like it is on this show. We're gonna try to be bold. We're not gonna try to sugarcoat anything. You know, one of the things that I always loved is a quote John Wooden used to quote. My dad used to give me a lot of John Wooden quotes growing up, you know, and one of the greatest ones was this: never mistake activity for achievement. And I thought that was great, you know, and it was always telling me, say, look, you could be moving around on the court, but are you getting in anywhere that's helping you be successful or helping your team be successful? And I think one thing I'd like to throw out there is folks, never mistake insurance for better health. Somehow we've got this all messed up that, hey, if we just have good insurance, somehow that's going to cover or cross over to better health. And they just simply... they don't match, and they never will match. So never mistake that. Just like we shouldn't mistake activity for achievement, never mistake insurance for health.
I think it's so important to just kind of take your own health into your own hands and be preventative. You know, get out there and move, and then you won't end up with heart disease, hopefully.
No question. Got to get out there and move. I got to get a quick story. If you check on Facebook, either Facebook on Living the Run or our chiropractic website, slowwellness.com. We threw up a photo of a guy I saw who threw up a standing desk. I think I might have mentioned it last week, but he just went and got 4x4s, took his existing desk, screwed them into the bottom, and jacked his desk up. Put a floor mat down. Now he's standing. He's feeling a ton better. His energy's better. His productivity's better. His back pain is going away, which is really, really cool. But he kind of put up there, he's like $10 for the wood and like 40 cents for screws, right? Pretty awesome. Took less than like 20 minutes to do. And now he's got a functional standing desk. His health is better just from a nice, simple, proactive step. Didn't, rape his bank account sometimes it's just little things, guys. just little things. Saw another guy this week. He says, geez, I went and we're eating more kale, less meat. How about that? A few more greens, not gorging on a pound of tri-tip every night. Guys feeling better.
I've gone kind of the opposite way, to be honest.
You're gorging on tri-tip? Oh, no.
A little bit, but mostly I'm just trying to increase my protein intake, which is very hard.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. And again, we talked about that a little bit when you run into muscle building. It's a different avenue or a different you're looking at a different deal there when you're looking at performance versus longevity per se. A lot of times we're talking to people about that longevity issue where they're overeating, they're gorging on,
Right.
3/4 of a pound of meat, but they're not exercising at a level that would even remotely prescribe that. So more kale. Easy to get. Hey, guys, we got Matt Russell in just a couple minutes. He's going to be on the line here. Ironman World Championships top 20 finisher. Some good insights because, again, he customizes that workout to him, and he spent a lot of time trying to learn his own body. I think we can get some insights. Matt Russell next on Living the Run.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Folks, when it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go. Go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your haircut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff put your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
Do you run, walk, hike, or work on your feet? Are your feet, legs, and back tired after a long day's work? Get Cadence Insoles. Designed by physical therapists and recommended by podiatrists, Cadence Insoles provide the elusive combination of orthotic support with the shock-absorbing comfort of an insole. This unique combination of support and comfort helps reduce stress and fatigue in the feet, legs, hips, and back, and alleviates many common injuries such as plantar fasciitis. A local business? Visit cadenceinsoles.com for more information. Cadence Insoles. Support made comfortable.
Hey, this is Tara Kulikoff, San Luis Obispo resident. Gardens by Gabriel is hands down my top pick for landscapers in San Luis Obispo County. Gardens by Gabriel is honest, knowledgeable, passionate, and detail-oriented. The owner, Gabriel Frank, is a true botanical zealot. He's able to add his own creative ideas while respecting my needs and working with the ecosystem that I live in. His crew is phenomenal. Their passion truly transformed my beautiful front yard. Dig them at gardensbygabriel.com.
We're back with Living the Run.
Hey, good to be back here on Living the Run. This segment is sponsored by our new sponsor, Art Cyclery. Guys, you got to get a bike. You got to find out if you're riding your bike correctly. You need to get over to Art Cyclery. You know, I met Scott Smith, one of the owners at Arts, him and Eric Benson over there. Met him at a triathlon at Wildflower, actually, and sitting there camping. We're camping the night before the race, and my dad came, you know, and sitting there. My dad, I think my sister was there. It was my brother and his wife, and just kind of sitting around. And then all of a sudden, Scott looks at my dad and is like, "Are you Mr. Stevens?" And we used to get this all the time when I was a kid because my dad was a teacher. Everybody knew him. And he says, I had you for history in 8th grade. And my dad's sitting there, looks at me, he's like, "Hi, Scott Smith?" And just went through this whole weekend. It was kind of a good deal. But Scott is an awesome guy. Get over to Art Cyclery, guys. If you're new to the area, artcyclery.com, or if you haven't used it before. And again, these guys are so good in the realm of mechanics. It's unbelievable how many people just simply are not fit correctly on their bike. And there's nobody that knows more than those guys over there. Scott has raced. Eric has raced tremendously. These guys really get it. Go over there for your cycling needs. Nice to have them on. We'll have one of those guys on the show here pretty soon. Hey, lucky to be joined right now by one of the greatest Ironman triathletes that we have in this community here in SLO. Canadian national champion, or Ironman champion, two-time duathlon national champion, 30 years old. This year at Kona, took 18th. World Championships, guys, 18th place. Matt Russell, thanks so much for joining us. Awesome job this year, man, at Kona.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
I got to say, you know, one of the things that people often talk about with the world of Ironmans is how many can you do in a year? How much rest do you need after each one? You constantly hear about complaints of injury and so forth. We hear about this as well on this show a lot in the ultra marathon world. One of our guests, Dean Karnazes, kind of is a mystery to many because he seems like he can do ultra after ultra after ultra. You do the same in this Ironman world. When did you realize that doing more races actually benefited your times and benefited you as a racer? I mean, 3 weeks before you're doing Tahoe Ironman, you hit Kona, you go top 20, and now you're set to do Arizona this week. For many of us, we shake our heads, including Melissa Gergel here in studio. It seems daunting, a lot of mileage, but your performance is incredible.
Yeah, I guess the first really test I ever really tested my body and my limits and how far I could go would be last year. Last year I did Ironman Mount Tremblant, and that's out towards Montreal area, and I had a great race. I finished third. And then the next week, on the other side, I did Ironman Canada, which was in Penticton, sort of close to Vancouver. So a lot of people were telling me, you had a great race at Mount Tremblant, cap it there. And I was like, hey, my body feels pretty good. I'm signed up for Ironman Canada out in Penticton. I'm going to give it a try. And literally 6-7 days after, I did Ironman Canada, and I actually ended up doing better, and I won that race. So that was really the first time that I kind of opened a lot of people's eyes up, and I surprised myself too. And I was like, hey, if I can do this, why not? As long as my body can recover. And I think the main thing is a lot of traveling and a lot of other things in life to balance. But everyone's individual. What works for me might not work for someone else.
Yeah, we talked about that coming on to the show, about the art of individualized treatment, the art of individualized workouts. What are you using as a gauge to let you know that you are ready that next week, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later for the next race?
Well, thankfully my body recovers really well, and I've been blessed that I have a beautiful woman in my life, and she has a massage therapy degree, and I guess I'm a little more spoiled than most professional triathletes that, I get a number of massages, and she can, massage my legs, and she's like, okay, you're probably about 70% today, and so that's, one gauge, and I use a number of other methods. I mean, obviously eating healthy is very important, and getting good sleep, and wearing compression wear, and icing, and, taking care of the little things.
Talk about some of those techniques you use, and certainly, the massage technique. We talked about this actually earlier in the show, too. Some people talk about it as a luxury. We say mobility is never a luxury. It's a necessity. It's a requirement for human movement, and massage, a great aspect of that. Talk about some of the, obviously, you must be doing some myofascial release techniques on your own. Are you using a roller? Are you using a stick? How do you go about that? What's kind of the frequency for you on those things? And do those things change as you get closer to races or post-races?
I try to stay pretty consistent with it. I use the foam roller a fair amount. I probably get about 2 or 3 massages, and I also stretch probably about 3 times a week too. I mean, it's not just swim, bike, run. It's swim, bike, run, body care, and the body care can take, it can be 5 to 8 hours a week, just taking care of the little things. So it definitely adds up, and that's one thing you can't neglect. I think if you kind of neglect it, you'll have like a knot in your calf, and that could lead to an injury.
Prior to becoming an Ironman, again, talking to Matt Russell, top 20 finisher at the World Championships, local here in SLO. It's sponsored by Timex, yes?
Correct.
Timex, main sponsor. Hey, when you talk about your food sources as well, what have you changed with that over the years as an Ironman triathlete? What have you found worked for you better? We talked a little bit about switching earlier. We're talking about more greens versus more protein at different times of your workouts and so forth. How has that evolved for you as an athlete over these last few years?
I have a background in running cross country and track, and in high school we always had the typical pasta dinner carbo load, and I don't necessarily think that's always the the best shoot to go. I think for my main fuel source, and anyone that's doing an Ironman, the main fuel source that you burn is fat. And that's when your heart rate's a little bit lower, and that's where you're going to be the most efficient. And I try to eat a fair amount of good fat. Do I have fruit and salads and lots of greens? Yeah, I definitely try to incorporate that. But for fat, I try to have, olive oil, mixing olive oil in salad, and avocado is great. Lots of healthy nuts such as cashews or almonds.
Yeah, good stuff. Another Ironman triathlete, we won't name him, but he's a fan of Living the Run as well, talks about just drinking some coffee and not eating before some of his races. So I'm kind of liking your diet a bit better. Hey, expectations this weekend in Arizona. Again, 4 weeks coming off of Kona. I thought it was interesting. You might even take us back to Tahoe race, because when I heard that you did Tahoe a few weeks before Kona, that's such an interesting dynamic, because Kona's kind of the granddaddy, right? World championships, etc. Talk about how you approach that race, because I thought that was interesting the way you explained that to me, and then talk about what your approach is here now, Arizona, post Kona.
Okay, so going into Tahoe, it was 3 weeks before Ironman World Championships, and I had a decent swim and an okay bike, and I was thinking, hey, if I get off the bike in a good position and I have potential to run into the top 3 to get on the podium, then I'm going to go for it. And I got off the bike, and I wasn't necessarily where I wanted to be, and so I kind of shut it down on the run about 10 miles in, halfway through, and said, hey, I'm going to rest my legs a little bit and not kill myself for Kona. And, that worked out pretty well. The swimming and the biking doesn't fatigue your legs that much. The running, it's a lot of pounding and wear and tear. So I didn't destroy my body. It was more of like a long run, or a long training day, you could say. And then I took a couple days easy, and then a week hard or so, and then a short taper into Ironman World Championships. Had a great race there. And then rolling into Ironman Arizona, the time frame is about 5 weeks, and I was able to put in a few solid weeks of training in, and I think, realistically, I'd love to be in the podium. I think a top 5 is definitely in the big picture, and I think I could swim right around a 58, bike a low 420, and, I'd like to break that 250 mark in the run.
Talking to Ironman elite athlete Matt Russell, local top 20 at the World Championships, about to take on Arizona this weekend. 250, you went 251 right at Kona. Very, very fast. Talking about going sub 250 in that is just it's elite fast, kind of mind-boggling for some of us. Matt, before we go, I want to ask you. You talk about doing the Blaze Man roll in memory of your mom. You lost your mom to a ruthless disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, at 13 years old. I took over for a chiropractor here in SLO who also died of that disease. Talk about what each race means to you, what finishing each race means to you, because it's more than being an athlete. Something spiritual going on there for you too, it sounds.
Yeah, it definitely is. The last mile of every Ironman is very emotional for me. I mean, even throughout certain sections when I'm digging deep, it's emotional for me because I don't just race for myself, and I'm blessed that I can do what I'm able to do. I can swim, I can bike and run, and I lost my mother at a young age, and the last mile when I'm running down, I'm emotional. And right at the finish, I do a roll. It's called a Blaze Man roll in memory of my mother and others who have battled or are battling with ALS to raise awareness.
Man, it's a tremendous Living the Run story. We typed in Blaze Man roll on Google and came up with videos of countless people doing that roll. Again, appreciate that selflessness from you. It's a classic story for us here on Living the Run, where we're talking about, we want to use our potential to get healthy, to maximize ourselves as humans, but spiritually as well. and we appreciate that openness. Thanks for sharing that story.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Hey, Matt, thanks so much for being on. We expect to see you on that podium. I'm sure you'll be there this weekend. Incredible athlete. Thanks for sharing with us. Hope to get you again during next year's schedule. Hey, after this one, take a little time to rest. Enjoy the holidays. Eat some grub in Thanksgiving and Christmas, and give that body a little rest for next year's schedule.
Definitely, I will do.
Thanks a ton, Matt.
All right, thank you.
Good stuff from Matt Russell. This guy, you can tell he just listening to him, you can tell he just kind of has this way about him that probably when he's suffering, he's just able to get to another level. It's just the average athlete just can't get to.
Yeah. I'm just stunned by that.
Yeah.
I can barely move for 2 days after running one hill workout of less than a mile. If you're looking at the meters, it's pretty embarrassing.
His recovery time's incredible. I mean, you just don't hear about that. He talked to me off the air about somebody else, I think somebody from Europe that runs about the same, but people just don't do that, much less finish at the places he's finishing at. Yeah. Top 20 world championships. He's talking about podium in Arizona. Arizona's big race. Awesome interview.
Yeah.
Awesome interview.
I'm so impressed right now.
Hey, guys, if you're looking to do any landscaping in your yard, like me, I'm trying to make a yard that is all edibles. We've been picking those persimmons. We got the pomegranates going, figs, etc. You got to check out Gardens by Gabriel. Check them out at gardensbygabriel.com. Call them at 805-215-0511. First step to your dream garden starts with these guys, and it's definitely starting at my house. People are raving about the fruit coming off my trees. Each year I just plan to add a little more till we've got edibles year-round, and we eat truly seasonally. But eat seasonally, folks. If you don't have it right now, you're looking to put that stuff in, hit the farmers markets. Eat seasonally. No reason not to on the Central Coast. More from us here on Living the Run in minutes. We got Blood Boiler tips and takeaways still on the show. Stick with us.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
Did you know that many people endure aches and pains in their feet, legs, and back, but few recognize the solution for some of the more common causes are as simple as a more supportive and comfortable insole? At Cadence Insoles, we understand the insole in your shoe provides the first line of support and comfort for your feet. Designed by physical therapists and recommended by podiatrists, Cadence Insoles provide the elusive combination of orthotic support with the shock-absorbing comfort of an insole. A local business? Visit cadenceinsoles.com for more information. Cadence Insoles, support made comfortable.
Hey everybody, Tara Kulikoff, San Luis Obispo resident, here to speak on behalf of Gardens by Gabriel and my experience. As a landscaper in the county, they are hands down my top pick. They are honest, knowledgeable, passionate, and detail-oriented. The owner, Gabriel Frank, is a true botanical zealot who adds his own creative ideas while respecting my needs and working with the ecosystem. His crew is phenomenal. They are so helpful and so hardworking. My front yard is absolutely perfect. So dig them at gardensbygabriel.com.
Hey everyone, Eric Fiallo here from LeftLaneSports.com. Are you tired of paying full retail on your favorite outdoor and endurance brands? Well, whether you run, bike, swim, hike, climb, or surf, LeftLaneSports.com has got you covered. Save 50 to 70% off retail every day on brands like Under Armour, Asics, New Balance, Timex, Hurley, Patagonia, and more. Visit LeftLaneSports.com and sign up for a free membership. Plus, save on shipping by picking up your order at our headquarters in San Luis Obispo. LeftLaneSports.com. Gear you need, prices you want, service you deserve.
We're back with Living the Run.
Hey, this segment brought to you by the realtors at Team Swayze, teamswayze.com. Hal Swayze. If you haven't used them, there's nobody that knows more about the real estate market, nor anyone that will work harder for you. Talk about a guy that lives the run. Hal Swayze, call him at 805-781-3750. Looking for a new home, looking to sell your home. Hey, you just want to know what in the world is going on in your neighborhood, in the market, to get informed. Call Hal Swayze, whether it's your home, dream home, or investment property. TeamSwayze.com. Hey, awesome interview with Matt Russell. Is one of those guys that we get this every once in a while, almost gets you emotional in here, because I can just picture him as he talks about that last mile of every Ironman, where his mind is not on, hey, I finished this. Hey, what was my time? His mind is on his mother, who died of a horrific disease, and all those others that are suffering with it currently. And the first thing he does when he comes through the line is he does that Blaze Man roll. If you haven't seen that, check it out on YouTube. It's such a neat thing that John Blaze started, and this guy, he's running that race with Lou Gehrig's disease at the time, and says, I'll roll to the end if I have to finish that race. And this is what it's about. This is why sports are so great, right? This is why we do it. And this is why we run the show. Interviews like Matt Russell.
Yeah. I can't even imagine, I guess the last mile of an Ironman would be pretty emotional for anybody, but for me, I think it would be more like, please just finish.
Yes.
More of that kind of emotion, but that's just awesome. And it's so great to hear of somebody motivated by something other than just personal success and accomplishments and things like that.
Yeah, no question. And he looks at mobility as a gift too. When you look at Lou Gehrig's disease and you start to lose that mobility, you really sense that gift. I felt super blessed. I saw a patient this week that's a pretty rough case of Parkinson's, and same thing, mobility is lost. And he says, when I can't move, I don't feel healthy. And mobility is an aspect of health. It's not a luxury. Mm-hmm. It's an aspect of health. We need to do everything we can to keep our mobility, not create toxicity to it, which kills me, getting back to that heart disease thing we were talking about. When you talk about statin medications poisoning people's muscles, 5 to 10% of people run into muscle pain. It kills their mobility. What a nightmare. We just need more. So thanks to Matt Russell. If you missed any of that interview, one of the best triathletes, or probably the best triathlete we have on the Central Coast. Can learn a lot from this guy, but sounds just like a great person, giving credit all over the place. But again, taking care of his body, talking about 8 hours a week, probably to self-maintenance, massage, spending time on the nutrition, paying attention to all the little things, but also thankful for his gift. And obviously, this guy lives the run. I mean, he is going at a very fast clip. Mm-hmm. Sub 250 that guy wants this weekend in Arizona? Come on. Don't forget, guys, CJ Silas Show next at 7 o'clock here on ESPN 1280 The Ticket. And then Alex and Bobby, the Slow Late Show, 10 to midnight. Who knows what those guys will be talking about? I can tell you what they won't be talking about. They won't be talking about eating well. They won't be talking about moving well.
Heart disease.
They're probably going to be talking about, hey, my Chipotle burrito didn't have enough guacamole, sour cream. They gypped me, on it. The Domino's, just whatever. It just, it is what it is. That's what these guys get after. And, They'll probably bring in some UFC nonsense or something like this. Oh boy, look what you got, listeners.
Actually, hi. I heard from one of my hidden cameras that you were running aggressively through downtown San Luis today.
Running aggressively?
Like fast and hard and serious. Like with this really like you were chasing someone but you weren't.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about
You
tonight.
know what I was chasing? I was chasing this reckless Domino's pizza driver that was squealing as he's coming down Grand Avenue, turning onto 101.
That's my producer.
Oh! Is that who that was?
Actually, do you want to know what we're going to talk about? It's pretty crazy. It was not planned. It happened today. You know, I had a house flood, and I've been going through my stuff because everything got drowned. And I found a shoebox that I thought had my first pair of running shoes in it, but it had every credential and ticket of any sporting event I've ever gone to in my 25 years. And we're going to literally go through the crazy things. I don't even remember going to World Series and Super Bowls. And people go to one. And I'm the luckiest person in the world. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to talk about you running aggressively.
I like that. Hey, stay in here. We got this is a good segment for you. Blood Boiler. We haven't done it yet today. What did you do today to get your blood to boil?
I parked at El Portal in North Shell Beach, and I ran up the Avila Peak, down Sycamore Canyon, back up Sycamore Canyon, and down Avila Peak to my car for an hour and 25 minutes.
That's a blood boiler right there. Give us your workout yesterday, because I know Wednesdays are never a big boiler.
Right. So today I just had a half an hour in the pool, so pretty easy. But yesterday I had 2 sets of 250, 200, 150. Along with some pole runs, and then a nice lift.
I like it. And today I ran aggressively
through downtown San Luis Obispo, and my producer saw you and tried to give you a Domino's pizza.
He tried to feed. Hey, Dean Carnazes, our guest Dean Carnazes, used to eat pizzas on the run. He would not go to Domino's though. Round Table, the only company that would deliver to a non-address. So he'd say, I'd be between these points somewhere on the highway.
No way.
They would come by, find him, deliver the pizza while he's on a 200-mile run, and he would chow it down. We went up to the track today after that aggressive run, did a little set, 1 lap around the track, hit 10 box jumps.
Nice,
if you will,
yes.
10 pull-ups.
How high was
burpees.
your box? Sorry, I need to know.
You know, it was probably like, it wasn't a box jump. We did it on the bleachers, so it was probably 18 to 24.
Okay,
yeah, 10 pull-ups, 10 burpees, 10 box jumps, and then hit a 400, 4 laps of that, and then jogged less aggressively on the way home. But, you know, I didn't have to chase some reckless pizza driver on the way home either.
You know what I wish? If people listen to your show and you could be on more often, I wish that more than 3% of the population actually exercised. I wish one person a day would do a quarter of what I do, because you know what? We'd be a lot more healthy. And we preach this with my staff. They're eating Red Vines and Doritos whenever they're here. And I have to come in with my distilled water with chlorophyll. It's horrible.
Yeah.
What do we do?
They need to listen to Virginia Merrim. We'll have Virginia Merrim on next week, giving us some Thanksgiving tips on from Vert Foods, how to get maybe some better choices. And it's got to be slow with your crew. I'm telling you. I mean,
horrible.
You
Unbelievable.
You can't make too drastic of changes.
Look what she's eating right now, a pint of ice cream. That's the truth. This is no lie. She's eating a pint of ice cream.
Ben and Jerry's in studio. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to a paleo party on Sunday, and I'm supposed to bring a dessert. Do you think Virginia can help me?
No question.
Okay, I'm going to call her, because I really need one.
Yeah.
What else am I going to do?
Call up Virginia Verfush.
Okay. A Rice Krispie Treats paleo, because that's like the only dessert I know how to make.
I tell you, the only people good for desserts, not in the paleo world, but these guys, that's all they eat is desserts. They never seem to get into any.
At least I only have to spend a couple hours a week with them.
I have quite a sweet tooth also, so the best thing is just not to start.
Yes. I have no problem with a little dark chocolate every day. Dark chocolate covered almond. I don't think dark chocolate's bad for you at all. I'm not seasoned and educated in it, but it doesn't hurt me.
Doesn't hurt you now. And,
really? You don't think a little dark chocolate every day is a bad thing, do you?
I'm not going to judge it. Again, each person adapts to these things a little bit differently. What we don't want is sugar rushes. We know that. And so, certainly a small little amount of dark chocolate.
Yeah,
Actually,
like 5
probably-
chocolate covered almonds is my big sweet every day.
It's probably going to give you less of a sugar rush, believe it or not, than drinking a glass of pasteurized, hormone-infested dairy.
Don't get me started,
Yeah,
right?
so I tell you, what people don't realize with that is that you get sugar rush with that. People get that's pretty high on the glycemic index. Not a good thing for many reasons. But
my girlfriend drove up to meet me today to do the hike run, and she had an energy drink in her hand. I said, "What? Oh, no, it's water." I said, "But you have the can, so that means the liquid in the can somehow was consumed by your body before you filled it with water. I'm ashamed of you."
I'd be ashamed too. CJ, thanks for joining us here. Thanks for giving us the blood boiler. You went hard today. I like it. Hey, more from Living the Run. We'll go tips and takeaways after the show. Had a lot. Again, you missed Matt Russell. Check us out, facebook.com/Living the Run to get that podcast tomorrow. Stick with us, guys.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Folks, when it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go. Go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your haircut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff puts your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
Do you run, walk, hike, or work on your feet? Are your feet, legs, and back tired after a long day's work? Get Cadence insoles. Designed by physical therapists and recommended by podiatrists, Cadence insoles provide the elusive combination of orthotic support with the shock-absorbing comfort of an insole. This unique combination of support and comfort helps reduce stress and fatigue in the feet, legs, hips, and back, and alleviates many common injuries such as plantar fasciitis. A local business? Visit cadenceinsoles.com for more information. Cadence Insoles. Support made comfortable.
Hey, this is Tara Kulikoff, San Luis Obispo resident. Gardens by Gabriel is hands down my top pick for landscapers in San Luis Obispo County. Gardens by Gabriel is honest, knowledgeable, passionate, and detail-oriented. The owner, Gabriel Frank, is a true botanical zealot. He's able to add his own creative ideas while respecting my needs and working with the ecosystem that I live in. His crew is phenomenal. Their passion truly transformed my beautiful front yard. Dig them at gardensbygabriel.com.
We're back with Living the Run.
Guys, don't forget to shop at Left Lane Sports. Great Christmas gifts out there. leftlanesports.com. Gear you need, prices you want, service you deserve. You know, we just were talking about the break. You said, I'm impressed you got pomegranates. Pomegranates are fantastic. One of the things that people don't realize on pomegranates, everybody says the same thing. It is the same thing, bar none. 100 people, they'll all say the same thing. Pomegranates taste great, but it takes forever to get them out, and they make a mess, and I just don't have time to do it. You can get pomegranate seeds out in 1 minute or less. There's a couple simple techniques to use. Just get on YouTube. I don't know that I can explain it as great over the air. I can get pomegranate seeds out in a minute or less. You get a ton of them. They are phenomenal. Beautiful plant. Ornamental, but functional and edible at the same time. So one of my favorites. Great show. If you missed any of the show, again, check us out on livingtherun.com. Check out the podcast tomorrow. Interview with Ironman Matt Russell. Emotional interview. Great interview. Phenomenal athlete. Follow him this weekend on Ironman.com. Race in Arizona. Also this weekend, check it out. Several racers from this area. A couple will be featured on NBC, I believe it is, on Saturday. They're doing a recap on Kona World Championships. So Karen Adelot, who is a Living the Run guest, amputee, 65 years old, phenomenal athlete. They're doing a story on her on NBC. So check this thing out. I believe it is Saturday. Go on to Ironman.com for more details. Good stuff there. Well, tips and takeaways. We talk about it all the time on the show. Always something we can leave the listeners with. Something that you got out of tonight's show, Melissa Gergel.
My big takeaway was just kind of spending time doing all the little things. We heard Matt talk about how he's spending, around 8 hours a week just doing the little things, stretching, rolling, all of that stuff. And obviously, if you're able to do 7+ Ironmans in 1 year, he's got to be doing something right. And, I know I'm definitely guilty of skimping on the stretching and that kind of stuff, but it can make all the difference.
Yeah, practice the art of individualized treatment, individualized workouts. I'm going to go back to never mistake activity for achievement. When we talk about that, we talk about that in exercise a lot too. A lot of people get out and they move a little bit, but they're not doing anything with any intensity, so they're not achieving results. And the same thing, people, stop mistaking insurance for your health. Stop getting into this Fox News, CNN battle. It has nothing to do with your health. Stop listening to this stuff and start acting, start moving, start getting your blood to boil. Next week, we'll talk a recap on the Arizona Ironman. We got Samantha Pruitt, finished her first century in Sacramento as well. Folks, as always, we say live healthy, live bold, come live the run.